Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. Just want to go over some little seedlings that we're growing, things that are just starting to pop out, and just defoliating some stuff with you guys. So these have been growing in here. We sowed them about a week ago now. It's a little morning glory. You can see she's by herself and it's a trailing plant. So she's going to start stretching. She's going to need to be transplanted or staked up so she can definitely latch onto that. This is a vining plant. These little lavender plants are starting to sprout, get big. You can see I sowed some lavender around there and they're shooting up. They're starting to really grow. Now, pinching off and pruning, defoliating, there are so many words to learn, right? So pinching off. Now, pinching off your plants when they first start growing. You want to make sure, like sunflowers and stuff, these morning glories, you don't pinch. Like I don't pinch those. My basil, I definitely pinch. We did a video on that a while ago. And then sage and lavender, I usually like to pinch off once it gets big. Now, pinching is when you have a plant like this. It's a straight plant, right? We didn't pluck the top off yet. So we have a straight plant. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pinch. This is pinching, okay? When you pinch off the top nodes of your plant, top few nodes, which is going to in turn let side branching bush out. You can kind of see it's already trying to start to. I love the smell of this lavender, and we want this lavender to grow really bushy. You can see it's starting to bush out already. So I'm going to dry and save this because it smells so good. Don't waste your lavender leaves, and then we'll let that stuff grow. And that is pinching, and it's just to promote bushier growth, just like we do for the sage. We pinch it off and then it grows, you know, side branches up along the whole stalk. We pinched off this one. This was one stalk. We pinched it, and you can see it split off into two tops right here in my fingers. See that? And then the side branching pops up. So that is the importance of pruning your plants. Now, there's different types of pruning. There's total defoliation, where you're pruning 20% of your plant and no more. Or there's just regular trimming, which people call pruning, but it's just really trimming. You know, you always want to trim your plants. Look at what's dead. Get any dead out. Do we have any dead here today? Nope. These sage plants are doing really well. So we're growing good. We don't need to cut anything. We don't need to pinch anything. This spinach is growing good. We're good with that. These zinnias are growing really big. Now, for plants that are just starting to sprout, these first sets, I like to cut off when they get pretty big, because, you know, when you have a first set and a second set pushing out of there, cutting off this first set really helps to make this top growth push out and get big. So be careful when you're pinching them off, these little side nodes and leaves. You want to get your clippers, make sure you don't damage your little seedlings and stuff. And I just do this because I feel like it makes the plant grow a little bit better. You know, getting rid of leaves you don't need is really important. Making sure you get them up on out of there. And then that's going to let this plant grow into a nice healthy little plant itself. We'll remove these, and we're just going to go around the garden and show you some pruning on different plants today. We're going to be pruning up a lot, different things, and I just want to show you how to do that. So we're going to go around the garden, and we're going to start at this little citronella right here, because it's getting so big, guys. Look at that. Look how big she's getting. So she is really going to need some trimming. See how tall she's getting? I got a stake in there, and all this foliage is really congested right here. See this? You see this right here, how congested this is? Well, why? Because we have to investigate. We're growing another branch, see? So this is the main stalk right here. Then this is a side branch she's growing, and this is another side branch she's growing, and another one. So she's got a bunch of side branches, which in turn is going to really suffocate this area. Things are going to start to get suffocated out. So we're going to get some trimmers, and I'll show you how to just open her up. Alright, you guys, so when I'm pruning a plant, I just look at first. You know, see how it's growing. You can see how we have spacing all between them top leaves. But then when we get down here where it starts bushing out, you can see how congested we are. So we're going to start getting fungus and leaf death in here if we don't cut. This one's going to come out because it was growing from up here, pushing all the way down here. And look what we got. Fungus starting and leaf death because we're so congested. So we got to go in here. Like even little guys like this, I'll take off just because they're congesting this area. They're not connected to like a little spout that's coming out. You never want to cut your spouts. See that? That's coming out. but you can definitely take off some leaves. See that? Like if this is annoying you or blocking, moving into something, you can take that leaf off. Sorry guys, I hit that camera. Let's see what else we can remove. We'll take this one right up here. See how this one's kind of linking down? Look, we're gonna clip that. Now we don't have anything on the soil. I don't like foliage hanging on the soil. Look at this one. Look at him. He's hanging all the way down to that soil line. We're gonna take him off. Look how much open this is now. It's so much more open, and now it's gonna have a chance to breathe. See that? You can actually see this branch. So we're gonna take one more just because, and now we're really open. See, I just opened this branch up, that branch up, which you can hardly see when it was covered. And we're gonna grow this citronella really big because we got all this side branching plus this branch up top. She's gonna have to be transplanted, and then when your stake starts moving over like that, when your plant gets big, you're probably gonna have to pull it out and just re-stake it down. Be really careful you don't hurt any roots, and we're good to go, guys. We're gonna move outside and just open up some more plants together, show you how I prune different things around the garden. So you guys, I had to show you this. Do you see the size of those mosquitoes? Look at those mosquitoes right there. They are on steroids here. Look at them things. They're huge. Yuck. I do not want them getting me. Remember I told you we have mosquitoes like that are huge, the size of your palm? Yep, that's him. So we're going to move it on back, and just want to show you this tomato, how she's doing. See how big she's getting? Because we pruned off all that unnecessary growth, guys. We opened her up. She's nice and open now. This was that other tomato, the little one that's starting to grow. And this is the big one, which you can see we got rid of all this bottom growth that was yucky. We opened her up. She's got nice healthy foliage now. Nice healthy blooms. So we're doing good. We don't need to prune anything on her. Now any dead blooms that don't pollinate like this, I usually like to get off. So I'm going to plop that one off. And I'm going to plop this one off because they didn't pollinate, and I can tell. But we'll leave that one. We'll see what happens. And then we're going to let this girl sit here pollinate. We sprayed her with neem, been spraying her with nutrients, watering, and she's been growing big. So we don't need to prune anything else on her, guys. These little plants came from my cottage garden yesterday, just to show you. I ripped them out and I planted them. They're doing good. Defoliating your plants is so important. See, you can see how much that helps your plant grow. And we'll just go ahead and move it on down. Alright, so peppers, remember I showed you like unnecessary growth on peppers to take off to promote healthy growth where it needs to grow? Well, look at this. Yeah, you know, leaves are good, and green leaves are especially good, but if it's in the way and it's sucking up energy, get it out of there. Like that one, it's just sucking up the energy. And you want to do your plants, like you want to shape your plants into an art. You know, think of an art when you're shaping them. Make sure you're cutting what needs to be cut and no more. See this? This little branch right here, this isn't doing anything. This little guy right here. This branch is doing something, but this isn't, because see where it's at? See, it's all the way at the bottom right here. We have a branch supporting this stalk already. So we can go ahead and remove this bottom guy right here. You want to get rid of it. You want to get rid of anything like that and just make an art out of it, just like that. Sorry my hair is in your way. You can see how much better that looks now that we took that foliage off. And we'll just move it on down. Alrighty guys, so I want to show you something. You know, now that we're getting into hotter weather, my lettuce is going to start bolting. You notice how stalky this is getting up? Well, it's not supposed to grow like this. It grows like this when it's getting ready to bolt and go to seed. So see how much spacing is in between this lettuce? This is bolting and going to seed. See how short and stocky this one is? Hasn't bolted yet because it's tiny. It's not as mature as this one. This was more mature. So look, we're starting to get seed. Now once your lettuce goes to seed, it is not edible anymore. It starts getting really bitter. So definitely prune your foliage and eat your lettuce before it goes to seed. Now that we're at seed, I'm going to let some of these seed out, but not a lot of them. And I'm going to cut them out, guys, because once lettuce goes to seed, you can either let it seed, pollinate, and then collect the seeds, or you can just cut it down before it seeds, utilize it. So I'm going to use some of this because we didn't really get a big seed on there yet. And I'm going to cut the rest of this stuff down as well because we don't have seeds yet. And you see how stocky this is? Well, if I let it grow anymore, you know what's going to happen? it's going to start bolting and going to seed. So we want to save all this lettuce. It's really pretty. Get a bowl, put it in there, and then we're going to make this little garden section into green beans. We're going to plant green beans here, you guys. So I'm going to get cutting the rest of my lettuce out because it's just bolting, and we cannot grow lettuce in the summer here in Florida. It's just too hot. You know, you guys might be able to up north. You might not be getting that hot weather like we do, but I know that lettuce just bolts immediately out here in the summertime. Snapdragon's growing really big since we trimmed. Give you a little look. Doing really well. And we'll move on over because we don't have to prune anything over here. Alright, so carrots real quick. You can see they're all standing straight up. But look at that straggler. We got a scraggler. See, anything like this, I take off. I just take it off because it's laying on the floor. It's not providing energy to the plant, and it's just going to create a disease in the long run. See this? Off. See this? Off, because it's going to produce middle growth to come. It's not bad to pluck your plants on the bottom. It really helps them grow and just produce more foliage to come. Healthy foliage, healthy blooms. You can see how much they love that defoliation. Now, defoliating is a lot different than just pruning a couple leaves off. Defoliation is basically defoliating like the entire plant and no more than 20% at a time. So if I was defoliating this plant, I would take off 20% of the foliage, which you would usually do if you have a diseased plant or you're trying to shape a plant, for that matter. We'll be going through that as the garden grows here, pruning, defoliating, pinching off, and just, you know, explaining what all that is. You can see how well this is growing. We just got to pay attention to what's going on, make sure they have the right nutrients they need, and they're doing good so we can move on. You can see how much we opened her up, and all that foliage has their own space. Strawberry's doing good. We don't have to do anything. She's ripening, as you can see from the sun. It's getting really ripe. So pretty. Look at that strawberry, guys. Look how beautiful that is. Usually I just turn it around so the sun can ripen that side. All these will ripen too out here. You can see how well they've been pollinating over here. The bees are really helping me out with this. Look how cute they are. I got strawberries coming out of everywhere, so we're really good, and we know she's happy there. Alright, you guys, so I stepped on the other side of my peppers because see how good this plant looks on the left here? Well, we defoliated it and we got peppers growing in the right spot. You can see we have even foliage. Peppers usually split off into 4 tops. We got peppers growing. See them 3? All over the place because we defoliated right. Now we got growth coming. Well, look at this one. Can you guys tell me what leaves need to be plucked on this? Let's see if you can guess for a minute. If you are guessing this bottom right here, you are absolutely correct. And you are correct if you're saying to take something out of here. I want to show you guys this because I want you to learn. You know, it took me so long to learn this stuff by myself. So having somebody help you is really, really helpful. And peppers usually split once into 2 tops, which are right here, and then it gets 4. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. But this little top right here is not growing as even as these other 3 tops, you can see. It's getting shaded by some light. So we're going to get in here, get a good angle for you guys, and start cutting. So we guessed that we needed to take off something down here, which we do. See this? That's just touching the ground and no good. It's not doing nothing. This one right here too, look. See? Touching the ground, we got fungus. I see fungus here. We're going to take this guy and take this guy because he's not doing nothing. See this little leaf right here? See how it's coming over from that side? That is not doing anything down there. See that? We got a stalk already. See the stalk that's coming out of the armpit? It's got foliage on it and blooms, so we're just going to take the foliage off. Defoliate your plants. This is defoliating, pinching off, pruning, you know, just taking foliage off, guys. Making sure your plant's healthy, breathing. You can see we have nice open space now. I'm going to take this little leaf. He's bothering me. And we're good. We're nice and open, and then this side is going to catch up because we have it in the sun now. You can see how much better that looks. Doesn't that look so much better, guys? Oop, we need this one too. See? Make an art out of it. Just make it even. Make sure all your foliage looks good. You know, and never pluck more than 20% of your plant at a time. Look how much better that looks. Do you see that difference from when we just plucked, from the difference beforehand? Now all that energy is going to focus on where it needs to go, on the top, where those blooms are and everything. This is my little cottage garden mix, which we had pulled the cottage garden out of those little plants that are by my tomatoes out of here, because one was behind here, which is no good. It was causing fungus, and one was just congesting over here. We had a bunch around here. So we opened it up now, and you can see how well they're starting to grow. I love this hairy little fella right here. I don't know what it is, but it is the most cutest little flower. Look, it's starting to grow a flower on top too. So I can't wait to show you guys that. We got a lot of this foliage off from down here. You can see this is no good, this foliage. This, you got to get out of there. Anything you plucked. So we're going to pluck this. Let's see if we can defoliate something here with you guys to show you. See? Just clean her up. See that? Clean her up. If you pluck bottom and you're not plucking too much, you really should not be hurting your plant. You know, you should be just fine with letting it rock out. We're going to take this leaf off. And we're going to take this leaf off. Just so it can grow. See how much better that looks? It just opens everything up. I'm going to take this leaf. I always keep my garden healthy, guys. You always want to make sure everything is staying healthy, growing healthy. Starting to bloom right there, which is cool. Kale's doing good. Morning glories are doing good. And I want to show you how to trim up my little butterfly plant over there. We're just going to check on some seedlings real quick. Check out those sunflowers. We got sunflowers after just a week. Look at them. They're huge. My watermelon sprouting. My sage doing really well. This was totally infested with fungus, guys, a few weeks ago. Which I didn't think it was going to come back because it was so bad looking. We switched the soil out. We trimmed it up. And we just started putting it in full sun. We acclimated it a little bit. It was in 6 hours of full sun. And then we acclimated it to the 8. Now we got 3 big sage plants growing, which is pretty neat that I don't have to plant sage because they came back. You can see from pruning the dead, treating with nutrients in the soil, and a foliage spray for the neem oil, the bugs and the fungus and stuff, we got rid of all that. We're foliage feeding, so they're really, really healthy right now. I'm so happy to see that, you guys. Wanted to show you my blueberry. Check her out. She's growing blueberries like crazy. And look, she's got new growth. So from defoliating this yucky stuff, see this? Like anything that looks like this, or like this, or like this leaf, you want to get rid of. Try not to hit your blooms and take your blooms off. Just get the leaves off. See all this new growth right here? That's what it's going to start pushing out. See all that? That is a good sign. We got tons of growth on her. Tons of blueberries growing. Can you guys see all them? I can't wait to prune her and pick her with you guys. She is jamming. See all them buds? We want to make sure she's nice and clean. She has nice airflow throughout her foliage, you can see. She's starting to get new growth everywhere because we're pruning. We're pinching off the dead, so it makes room for the new growth to come. Alright, you guys, see how bad this looks? This looks pretty bad, right? Pretty rough. You can see all the foliage. But look, we got new healthy growth because we're getting into summer. So we need to defoliate. This is defoliating when you have to take off a lot of your foliage at once. This is defoliating. All this nasty stuff's got to come off. So we got to flip up the leaves. See all them? Anything that is like this, we get off. So let's go pinching, guys. We're just going to start tackling her together. See what we got here. This way you guys can learn how to do this too. Leave them top blooms. Take anything on the bottom here. Be careful when you're pinching. You don't break a stem or anything. Get anything dead like that out. And we're going to be pruning quite a bit. So after you prune like this, you should be feeding. You want to make sure you give her a real good feeding because she's going to get stalled out if not. You know, you're pruning a lot off of her and you're going to be shocking the heck out of her. So you really want to make sure you keep that soil nice and moist and give her lots of nutrients at this point, and then spray her with a foliage spray as well so you can get rid of any fungus that wants to start creeping around in here. This is just fungus with regular leaf death. That's what regular leaf death looks like on her. And then when the blooms finish blooming like this, you can see once they finish blooming, what I do is I just take the top and I pluck it right off of there. Because what's going to happen is 2 new center growths are going to push out, right out of the middle. See how this stalked up into 2? After you pinch that 1, and it stalks up in a 2. This is how she grows. She just keeps flowering, and then you keep pinching. She keeps flowering, and you keep pinching for this butterfly plant. We're going to clean her up, and then get rid of all this yucky stuff down here, and just show you guys how she looks afterwards. Give you a little look-see right now, and then we'll take a look when we're done. Alright, you guys, so we're back. It took me about 5 minutes, and you can see just how much we defoliated off of her. Now, I'm not done just yet. I just wanted to show you guys basically where I'm at. You can see what we've took off of her. So anything yucky like that leaf over there, we've taken. No matter where it was, we took it off. This is defoliating your plant. Defoliation is when you defoliate more than, you know, just a leaf or two. We're taking a leaf or two. It is defoliating off all your leaves, no more than 20% at a time, because we're getting all this yucky stuff. I wanted to show you and leave it on there. See how healthy this looks? See how healthy this is? Well, look at this. See underneath? This is the stuff we cut. So we need to get rid of these leaves right here. Anything that looks like this, no matter where it is, you got to pop it off, guys, because then new growth will be popping out. So we're going to get new side growth too. Anything that's on the side that looks yucky, just go ahead and pinch off. See this little flower stalk? We got to make sure we cut that all the way down to the bottom there, wherever that was. I know we have another flower stalk somewhere I seen. Where are you, bubs? Right here. See this? I left this on here to show you. See how much we did prune? But we're already popping out some new growth here, so we're good. And then these tops, see this brown? You want to get rid of that brown. Anything brown like that, pinch off, get it out of there. And then this flower here, we're going to follow all the way down to the bottom. See where that's at? See the middle there? How we're getting 1 on the side and 2 on the side growing? We need to take this middle stem out. So be careful when you're cutting it. You're going to cut this little sucker right here. Cut that flower right off. This way now these 2 little leaves will grow into another flower. Same thing for this guy. We're going to follow the stem all the way down, which is down here. Cut it off right at that point. Leave these 2 little side branches, 1, 2, and they're going to push out flowers to come. This is how she produces. So you break off the middle stem, the flower once it flowers, and then she'll push off these 2 stalks and then push out another flower. So that is defoliating your plant, and you'll see in a few days, guys, how much she comes back. I want to show you, so take a good look. You can have a good look at her now. This way in a few days you can definitely see how much she fills in. And the reason why we do this and why it's so important. See all that healthy stuff on there? That's what we want to leave. Anything yuck we're getting off. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it helps you just to take care of your plants in the best way possible. Defoliate them. Get all that yucky stuff out of there. And we've got a lot more to come here from Stacy Here We Grow Again. Thank you so much for stopping by. We're going to transplant our little blackberry babies that we did. That's the little baby that's doing good from over the summer when we transplanted her. You can see we got 2 more. We got 1 baby and 2 babies. So we're going to show you guys how to do that. I'm going to just get pruning up here. See all this dead stuff up in the garden? While you're out here, you might as well get all this stuff out. You know, go around your garden, check, do your garden check, get rid of any fungusy leaves, and you'll be good to go, guys. You know, just keep your garden healthy, sprayed, and maintenance, clipped up, pruned up, and you're good to go. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time.